Hey guys, sorry if I seem a little out of it today. I've just been really stressed out lately, you know? It's this game, man, it drives me up the fucking wall. In today's humble opinion, we're just spinning our tires in Rocket League. Rocket League is what you would come back to when your kids want to play but you're far too hungover, so you just toss them a couple of Matchbox cars and ping pong balls and tell them to entertain themselves while daddy gets a couple more winks of sleep. It's a hybridization that combines racing with the physics of soccer, but with enough zany action to almost be more comparable to three-dimensional air hockey. And the people that you have to thank for this treasure of a fantasy sport are the guys over at Psyonix, since they developed and published it. Judging by the use of physics, I'd say that they've got some pretty smart guys, just probably not rocket scientists, since they can't identify a rocket. Just because Flying Car League didn't catch on doesn't mean that you get to lie to me, Psyonix. I've got my eye Onyx you. Before we go any further, I just want to inform you of some probable bias that you're going to find in this review, because I absolutely hated playing this game, but I also absolutely recognize that it's not a bad or even mediocre title. It's objectively amazing for more than one reason. I just couldn't personally get into it. So if it seems like I'm making a lot of complaints, don't let that sour your opinion. I'm just a stick in the mud that can't always appreciate a good time. I think that the best way for me to summarize my feelings for it are actually mad because bad. Only I'm aware that it's because I suck at the game. Even when you're watching games played at my level of capabilities, you can find yourself some tense moments and plays worth celebration, and when you watch people that are actually skilled with the game, that feeling is multiplied endlessly. To be able to play at a high level would be a blast, but I'm not capable of that level of play, or perhaps more accurately, I don't care enough to be. So instead I just get frustrated by the incongruity between the course of action that I want to take in my head and the course of action that my level of finesse allows. In other competitive games, you always feel like you have some level of control over what you're doing. Even when you're getting outplayed, you at least know that you have the ability to walk to a specific place mechanically. You know that if you point in a direction and push a button, you'll shoot or fire a skill shot in that direction. The complexity comes from how you use those mechanics. Rocket League instead places that complexity in movement itself, which means that every action is going to have a learning curve that, more often than not, is going to be a little counterintuitive. I'm not saying that you have to be a total nerd to be good at this game, but I am saying that if you're good at this game, fuck you. In simpler terms, it pisses me off, mostly for the exact same reasons that tennis pisses me off. I know where I need to be, but my limitations keep me from getting there, and no amount of telling myself I got it helps, because ultimately, whoop, I don't got it. Now you can sleep easily knowing why I upload videos of me playing video games instead of me playing tennis. Mystery solved. I know that must have been eating you up inside. I only bring this up because I know that I'm not the only person to feel this way, and it seems like there are few people capable of articulating why. Most people will tell you that the game is good and fun because honestly it is, and never stop to think that the physics mechanics that are so fun for them might be a nightmare for others. It's worth noting, however, that the developers do include practice training for varying activities at different difficulties to help you get accustomed to the controls on your own, so there's not even reason to complain about them just throwing you into it. Normally you can find Rocket League on the Steam store for the price of $19.99, and despite my personal hangups for it, I find $20 to be more than fair. However, if you're unsure about whether or not you'd be up to the challenge of taking the time to master the controls, I'd wait until a free weekend to give it a shot. Even if you see it for sale at its lowest price of $11.99, it can be pretty pricey for disappointment. Gameplay for Rocket League earns an 8 out of 10. I don't much care for them, but honestly speaking, the controls are extremely responsive. Everything from the boost to the brakes are intuitive enough on their own, and the only real issue is the learning curve that comes with managing them all simultaneously to move the way that you want to. But that's also the core aspect of the game. Mastery is in fact possible, and it's incredibly rewarding once you do. Though I would say that it favors the use of a controller, which means that it loses points for those without. The graphics are excellent, with all sorts of vivid and well-designed levels to play on, and it also boasts a metric shit ton of customization options and a host of game modes. My personal favorite is the one that introduces items to make the game a little less serious, though I think it's weird for a game inspired by soccer to make the boot the item that hits the players and the fist the item that hits the ball. Seriously, Psyonix, do you do your research? First the Rockets, now this? In value, Rocket League earns a perfect 10 out of 10. Even though it's definitely not the game for me, it does bring something entirely new and innovative to the table, and it does so well. It's suitable for all kinds of moods, ranging from just looking to have a good time to something much more competitive. The matchmaking has never been ridiculously off point, so your experience is going to tend towards something balanced and fair, and even the community seems to be pretty inviting, so the game is more often than not pleasant. It offers so much to everyone that it is an excellent example of what a bundle could potentially offer. With an average of 9 out of 10, Rocket League scores a goal with an A. If awkwardly fumbling around with balls sounds like your idea of a good time, then you just might enjoy this game yet. And who knows, once you've handled your fair share of balls, you might just score.